Burial practices of the Civil War. Burial practices of the Civil War were pretty informal and were not done with much care for the individual soldier. Many of the soldiers' corpses were not able to be identified, but some were because of identity discs on the soldiers that were sold to them by merchants, and also by other means, such as other soldiers recognizing the fallen soldiers. Those who were identified were embalmed and shipped back to where they lived. The problem with this is that the embalming fluid could only stop the deterioration of the corpse so much, so the bodies would not always be in good condition once they had returned. Along with this, the military would also run out of embalming fluid, and would have to use alternatives such as ice to keep the bodies good, which would only be effective for short-term transport, as once the ice would melt, it would actually speed up the process of decay for the soldiers' corpses. The soldiers who went unidentified were often buried where they had fallen, either of illness, injury, or warfare. They were buried in mass graves, which were frequently left unmarked. The military was responsible for burying the fallen soldiers, and would have soldiers dig lines of graves. The African American soldiers who had died during the war were buried in separate graves to the white soldiers. The government created 14 national cemeteries for the soldiers and veterans to be buried in. This changed the graves from being family markings to public memorials